Hi everyone, I'm Rainy from Rainy Day Reads, and today I want to talk about my TBR for middle grade March. Yay! I'm so excited for this month coming up. I am over February. I know it's a short month, but I am not a fan of February, and I just cannot wait to get to March. One very important reason is because of middle grade March. I've been waiting for this month and this read-a-thon since last year at some point, probably since last middle grade March, because I discovered that I love middle grade. And I read The Girl Who Drank the Moon last year for middle grade March, loved it, and was hooked ever since. Before we get into it and before I gush too long, let me tell you a little bit about Middle Grade March if you don't know. The hosts of Middle Grade March are Krista from Books and Jams, who I just discovered recently. I think last year I kind of got on to Middle Grade March at the tail end of it and really wasn't even sure the hosts and all that. It's before I got into doing YouTube videos. So this year, I discovered Krista, and she is a lovely lady, and we have talked a few times, and she's just such a kind spirit and so joyful, and I just love her. And also, another host is Katie from Life Between Words, who you have heard me gush about before. She also seems like a lovely lady and has two adorable little boys, and I'm not really sure how she has time to read all that she does, and do her Instagram and YouTube and podcasts. But anyway, they are just both wonderful ladies, and I'm so excited to get to join with them in this read-a-thon. So, the premise of Middle Grade March is obviously to read at least one middle grade, and if you only read one, you're still participating. I, however, have quite a few more than just one, and I'm a little overwhelmed by my choices already, but yeah, we'll do what we can. Krista and Katie have also come up with some challenges, so when I give you my TBR, I will read each challenge and tell you which ones I have slated for that challenge. And I also have a few more that really probably don't fit the challenge, but I still want to read. So let's get into it. So the first challenge that Krista and Katie have come up with is to read a nonfiction middle grade novel or a novel based on true events. And for this one, I had several that I wanted to read, but the one that I am definitely going to use for this challenge is called The Making of Molly by Anna Carey. And this I am going to read also for the Irish read-a-thon, which is also happening in March. So that's why I picked this one to double dip with for that challenge. I don't really know much about this book at all, except for it involves the suffragettes and a little girl who gets involved with the suffragettes in Ireland in Dublin, 1912. So, yeah, this book was recommended to me from Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing. She's one of the hosts of the Irish Read-a-thon, and I will be filming my TBR for that right after this, so I will hopefully link it in the profile or in the description when I am done with this one. But yeah, I'm really excited to read this. It looks really cute, and also hopefully will give me some history, and yeah, I'm really excited about that. Also for that challenge, if I get to it, I would like to read Under the Hawthorn Tree. That one, all I know about it is a story about the famine in Ireland, which I feel like is going to be very sad. but just based off of the picture, it looks like it's going to be a hard one. But yeah, I hope to get to that one also. Oh, now this challenge is the one that I am most excited about. And actually, I could probably fit my my next two books into the next two challenges. Um, but the next challenge is a book with a non-human main or important character, and the third challenge is fantasy. So for this one, this book is one that I have been wanting to read for a very, very long time. And that book is Nevermore. Yay! I can't believe I haven't read this yet, but I was specifically keeping it on the wait list for middle grade March because I just thought, why not? That would be the perfect time to read it. And I've just been listening to everybody gush about it for months and months and just waiting on pins and needles to get to it. And supposedly there are non-human main characters in this. It looks like the main character, Morgan Crow, is a human based on pictures, but apparently there are also a lot of non-human main characters. And then for the same challenge and probably for fantasy, I would like to continue with Wondersmith. I am really excited to read both of these. They're kind of chunkers, but you know, I think that they're fantasy and I can read those pretty darn quick, so I think they'll be all right. For the fantasy challenge, I don't have it with me yet, but I have bought it and it is apparently on its way to me and has been for a couple of weeks. But I also would like to get to Tilly and the Book Wanderers from Pages & Co. by Anna James. That is another one that I have been dying to read since it came out. But I had willpower and decided that I was going to wait for middle grade March to get to it. So, and I might have to wait longer because apparently I wasn't paying attention and I picked it up from a very far away place that it is just taking its good old time to get to me. So, but hopefully I will get it soon and I can crack on with that one pretty quick. The fourth challenge was a really interesting one, and it is a novel written in verse. And I did not know what to pick for that one. So I watched a lot of YouTube and typed it into Google, and Inside Out and Back Again came up repeatedly. And I am really interested in reading this book. I will be honest and say that I am not a poetry fan. And this, you know, obviously, since it is the prompt, it is written in verse and should be very easy to read. But yeah, I am not typically a poetry person. So it might be a little bit interesting for me to read, but I'm hoping since it's middle grade, I should be able to understand the poetry, I would think. It is about a little girl who flees Saigon and just her dealings with trying to grow up in a new country and missing her old country and just all of those things that I just can't even imagine having to go through. And the last prompt is a book with a diverse character. And for that one, I have picked up The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind by, I'm sorry, I'm going to butcher that last name, so there you go. There. But yeah, that one is about a young man in Africa. I'll just read it to you. Oh, this one apparently seems like it is autobiographical in some sense, because it says, when a terrible famine struck William Mkwamba's tiny village in Malawi, his family lost all the season's crops, leaving them with nothing to eat or sell. The family could hardly find money for food, let alone school fees. Forced to drop out of high school, William began to explore the science books in his village library. There, he came up with an idea that would change his family's life forever. He could build a windmill. So, yeah, I didn't actually know before picking this book up that it would be autobiographical. So, that sounds interesting to me, and I'm excited to get to that one as well. Lastly, the group book that everyone that is participating in middle grade March can read is Sweep, the story of a girl and her monster. And I am still waiting on that one in the library, so hopefully I will get that one soon. But it is about a girl in Victorian London who is also a chimney sweep, which I thought was a really interesting premise. So all of these books I am very excited to read, and they all look pretty easily readable for me, so I'm hoping that I will actually get through all of them. I also have some books picked for the Irish read-a-thon, and they aren't all middle grade, so those ones might take up a little bit more of my time, but I'm going to try to do some audiobooks in there. And yeah, so I will link my video for the Irish read-a-thon TBR in the description below, as well as the links to the hosts' channels. And yeah, I am really, really excited for middle grade March, and I hope that you are joining in as well. Let me know what you're reading, and link your channels in the comments. I would love to see your TBRs and what you're reading. Okay, happy reading, everyone.